Right, so it'll be... If I can figure out the hotkey to start my timer, I'll tell you how long's left until it starts. What's the fucking hotkey? No, it's fine, I've got both voice channels muted on the mixer, so we can just spout until that. That shows you how professional I am. It just shows you how professional I am. I can't get my hotkeys to work. Right, so there's 5 minutes till it starts. so I guess we'll just start then. So, first question I've got for you is, how did you come up with the name Super Dlux?
Super Deluxe. Okay, so one of my best friends, shout out to Ewok, he always used to say it Super Deluxe. He's like, that shit's Super Deluxe. And like everything that I go and buy, I have this this philosophy basically where it's like if I'm gonna buy something, I want to buy like the nice version of it, like the one that comes with the extra shit and like looks better and
Yeah, so you
everything,
don't want
just
the
so that
B-Tech version.
yeah. I don't want the B version because next year I'm gonna have buyer's remorse. I should have bought the nice version. So my buddy used to he'd say that shit to me all the time. He'd be like, "Yo, you got the super deluxe version." I was like, "Oh shit!" And then eventually I started using that as my gamer tag, and that was probably like 3 years ago or something. And then it just moved over into FPV when I got into FPV. So it was my gamer tag before it was anything else.
Cool. So, how long have you been in FPV for then?
FPV, wow. So I was first like aware of FPV back in whenever the Blackout Mini H came out. I was aware of FPV. It popped up on one of my news feeds, and I was like, "Oh my god, this shit looks so much fun! Like it's cyberpunk skateboarding." And I looked into it, and I was like a broke IT office worker at the time, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! I wish I could afford it." But then in like 2019, when I started doing like investments and stuff like that, and I finally had some money, I was like, I need to get into this, and I just started doing research. So like the beginning of 2019, I started doing research, just watching everything, reading stuff, and I got into it. And then I didn't buy anything for like the first 6 months. It was just all looking into it and seeing what I should get. What's the super deluxe version of FPV?
Yeah.
And then eventually I started buying stuff and screwing up and soldering my fingers shut, like
Yeah, yeah.
doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then I just started flying. And then I think Bot Grinder was probably like one of the first pilots I latched onto, and now he's actually like a good friend.
Cool.
I've been flying almost a year and a half.
Man, that's yeah, it doesn't sound like a big thing for a year and a half, but it's FPV. It's only been what, 10 years top since it came about.
Yeah, about. I mean, even the modern version of FPV is only like 3 years old, 4 years old maybe,
Yeah.
with all the modern electronics, and still it's improving like every day. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
It's hard to
it's
keep
just
up.
yeah, it's one of the things that I wonder. Like, what point is this just going to plateau and stuff just not going to get better?
Right. That's
Because
what
like,
the FAA fears about, like, is it going to stop innovation? Is it going to make it stale? But I believe that there's enough of us in the underground here that will push it and make it better.
yeah, it's like the same thing with computers, in it. They're saying like in something like 50 years, they're like just physically not going to be able to make them any faster.
Yeah, that's the theory, right? What do they call that? Moore's law,
Yeah, something like that.
where like the silicon gets half as cheap but twice as good every year or something like that.
Yeah,
But there's going to be a limit, like a plateau. But then that's when they move on to quantum computing or something like that. Then everybody will have a quantum computer at their desk.
yeah, but then I guess the question is what comes after quantum computers?
Yeah, right. There you go. You're gonna have like theoretical computers. You just have like a box with a black hole in it on your desk.
I reckon we'll just go back to Windows.
Yeah. My black hole runs on Windows.
But Windows is never going to die. It's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We'll be in spaceships 20, 30 years from now, and they're all gonna run on Windows. You get blue screens of death and accidentally crash into the sun.
Uh, right. Another one I've got is I've just wrote backgrounds. It's like where you from, what you do, and all that.
What I'm doing now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get into FPV more. I'm trying to get deeper. I'm trying to invest myself. I'm trying to make products. So I've been looking into making products. I've been working on a website. I've been looking at getting my Part 107 license.
Well, if
I
you need that, then there you go.
basically my goal is to travel and fly. I think that would be fun.
Sounds like a good goal. So, Part 107, that's just what you need to make money with UAVs and it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also like a shield, like a plausible deniability shield. Like if if
This goes
I'm
tits up pretty
flying
good.
somewhere and someone comes up to me or a cop or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do that here," blah blah blah, or they're
Yeah.
trying to like give me a ticket or something like that. And be like, "No, I actually have paperwork. Here's my paperwork, and I'm trained to do this." You know,
Yeah.
it's more of like a, "Hey, I'm actually like went through the proper channels to make sure that I wouldn't be caught out in the cold
Yeah.
when those types of situations arise."
It's like your driver's license, isn't it?
Yeah,
Theoretically, you
yeah.
don't need it, but
That's
you need it
exactly
to.
what I think about it as. It's almost a driver's license,
It's
pilot's
a
license.
driver's license for flying death machines.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, I do want to get an actual pilot's license too. I've flown a plane before. I've flown a helicopter before, like actual ones where you sit in them.
Yeah.
But like that's one of my life goals too. Is I want to be able to jump in a plane and fly down to Mexico if I want.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like when you're growing up, the one thing you think of freedom is, you get a car that's you free. Then it's like, what's after that?
Exactly. Exactly. Let's make it fly.
Yeah,
I want that flying car.
everything gets better when it flies.
That's mostly true.
So, where where do you live now? Like, I've now said California, but where?
Yeah, I'm in like the far north of California right now. I'm in Humboldt, California, which is like a giant rainforest where the rainforest meets the ocean. Basically, we have like 400-foot tall like sequoia trees around us. Just giant forests, and then that meets like a cliffy ocean, and there's a huge bay out here, and it's just like one of the most gorgeous places on earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I grew up in Southern California, like in Los Angeles area, and it was just too dirty and gray, and
concrete
it's like a
jungle.
desert, and it's just gross, and there's so many people, and everybody's
Yeah,
disgusting mentally.
yeah. It's
So
like you
I
went
ended
from
up moving
concrete
up here with an
jungles to the real one.
ex-girlfriend, and then we broke up, and she moved away, and I stayed here, man. It's such a gorgeous place on earth.
Sounds like a good story to get to where you are now.
Yeah, man. It kind of just ended up that way.
Yeah,
That's been the story of my life. I kind of just ended up doing what I'm doing. And it's been turning out great, man. I can't complain.
yeah. So, seeing in your videos, you always what's the catch with the mask?
The mask, it's more fun. I think, I like people like Daft Punk and who else? Like Dead Mouse did it, and there's quite a few other like different I guess industries where artists or performers or something would wear masks, and if you become bigger or more famous or whatever, it actually protects you in your real life.
Yes, guess.
And I think it's more fun. It adds more character to it. It adds like an aspect to where I can do stuff where I couldn't normally do if I wasn't wearing a mask.
Yeah, what is it? No face, no
Plus,
case, isn't it?
I think it's also like an attractant too. It also attracts a certain type of people. They see you're out there doing stuff and wearing a mask at the same time. It's like intriguing. So I think I'm just going to keep continuing with it. I freaking love it.
Yeah. Well, it's just an extra layer of the I can't anonymity.
Yeah, exactly. It keeps me anonymous when I don't have my mask on.
Yeah.
Even though when I go fly with my quad squad out here, my Humboldt quad squad,
Yeah.
they all know me by name anyways. I don't wear my mask when I'm with them. Only when there's like a camera on.
Yeah.
Or if I'm flying with a bunch of people I don't know, I'll keep my mask on the whole time.
Fair.
I don't want people trying to sneak pictures of my actual face and leaking it.
That's fair.
You gotta keep that anonymity. Dead Mouse kind of screwed that up. he he took off his mask early on, and then now he's known as Joel instead of Deadmau5. To where like Daft Punk, they kept their masks on forever until people like mathematically figured out who they were.
Yeah.
You know, they were like checking cars in the parking lot and then cross-referencing that with the last event, and that's how they figured out who Daft Punk actually is.
Just people are just weird, innit?
Yeah, man. If there's a mystery, there's people out there willing to solve it.
Yeah. Then you get the people that are what whole internet age is this bloke called Corpse Husband. One of the biggest people on YouTube right now. Nobody knows what he looks like.
That's awesome. See, he still keeps his anonymity. See, now I can't say it.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of the type of thing where you want to be able, you know, if things do happen with these things like YouTube and all that for you, you want to be able to just walk down the street without having to worry about people coming up to like, yo, can I have a picture or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Or someone trying to me to you or something like that. You know?
Yeah. And it's just like, I kind of like the idea of that. It's like, you know, for me, it's on the internet, I'm weirdo. When I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm me, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it feels like one of these things, you know, you just got to play up who you actually are to get views and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it adds like an aspect of theater as well. You know,
Yeah.
it keeps it more entertainment aspect oriented. You know.
Yeah.
It's not just me as a person trying to get, you know, popularity. It's a character. It's something I can build on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see in this video right here too. That's the forest or part of the forest, really.
Yeah.
But there's like a 400-foot tall tree there, and out here we don't really have that many tall buildings either. You know, it's all, you know, 4 or 5 stories is the biggest building we have. So I have trees out here instead.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Instead of diving a 400-foot tall building, we'd have a 400-foot tall tree.
Yeah. Oh, sup, Rax?
Yeah, Rax is in here. What's up, boy? So on Discord, you're known as Weirdo, but I see on YouTube you're Ducky. What's with that?
It became a joke in a CRT stream that my whole thing was, you know, this, something's broken, try duct tape.
Yeah, I freaking, my dad taught me how to fix cars and shit, and duct tape was like the first tool he ever bought me. It was duct tape, vice grips, and a hammer.
Well, you can fix basically anything you need to with duct tape and a hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Zip ties. I still use zip ties every day now.
Yeah.
Went and bought some nice, colorful zip ties and stuff too.
Oh yeah, so basically, you know, it started off with me being duct tape FPV. And that slowly moved further and further into, you know, going...
Do you have duct tape on your quads
tape.
too?
Yeah. Got duct tape.
That's awesome.
I've got duct tape on my skateboard.
You gotta have the duct tape. Yeah, on the skateboard too. We used to rock that shit all the time. When our nose would fall apart on our skateboard, we'd just tape that shit up and then just grind right through it. Duct tape's an important tool of the modern world.
Yeah, nothing beats duct tape. So, but I see in your videos you've got a dog. It's your dog coat.
Yeah, this spot here we're looking at, this is like one of our other pilots on our team. He works at a motorsports place where he basically builds trucks for people, like modified, awesome, like rock crawler type of trucks. And this is like the practice field out behind the motorsports place. This is my testing field, basically, where I made in a lot of my quads.
Well, it looks like a good place for it, you know, it's out of the way, goes to hit something, nothing really can
Yeah,
bad.
it's perfectly out of the way, right behind my buddy's business. and it's like great for. I go there and I recycle my cardboard in this big ass trash container,
Yeah.
and then, and then I do my maiden flights out there on the dirt bike track.
It looks like there's a lot of very interesting places where you're about.
Oh man, the I haven't even posted. I see. I'd say like 90% of the videos that I've made, I haven't even posted yet. So there's some good videos up on the horizon right now, and I still have to travel to a few different spots around here. 30, 40 minutes from my front door,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have some of the coolest footage you'll see. It's just amazing, like cliff beaches where the redwoods like meet the beach and they're like falling into the ocean. Oh man, it's gonna be great. I got a lot of videos coming for everybody this year.
So
I'm actually working on one right now where I have Tommy. I'm a god. I have him in there.
right here. Speaking of Tommy, what do you think of his a sub 250 5-inch?
Oh, I've held them. I flew with him in December, and I've held them, and they're freaking awesome. They are so cool. And he's like right on the line right now with 250 grams, and he's doing some cool shit for everybody right now.
Yeah.
Like Tommy is one of the best innovators in FPV right now, and
Yes.
he's got the tools and the means and the know-how to get us to where we need to go. If we're flying places, that we need, a GoPro and a 5-inch drone, but we can't fly over 250. If that rule actually is going to come through,
Yeah.
then Tommy's going to be our savior, man. He's got a lot of great stuff on the horizon,
Yeah.
and not just the sub 250 stuff. He's got other stuff coming too that's going to be amazing.
I'm excited to see what he comes out with.
Yeah, man, I'm
Yeah.
stoked. I got a little preview of stuff when he came out and flew with me, and it freaking I'm stoked.
Yeah. It's what Tommy also was. What the remix was the first, well, properly successful frame for a neutral. What is it? Neutral center of balance or something.
Yeah, center of gravity. Oh my god, I love that frame. I have two of them. I busted one up recently, but I literally like that's one of the only frames. I probably have like 30 drones or something like that. And if you blindfolded me and just let me fly one after the other, I probably couldn't tell the difference between most of them.
Yeah.
But the only one I can tell the difference on is the remix. It flies differently. It feels different because of that center of gravity.
Yeah.
It is so balanced. It's like the first time I flew one of them, I was just surprised. I was like, wow, this actually feels different than anything else I've ever flown. And that was me probably like 3-4 months in of flying when I first built one.
Yeah.
And
The first
that's
frame.
I think everybody should try that frame.
Yeah. It's the first frame I ever got was a remix. And
Oh, nice. That's a great frame to start on, man.
yeah. But it did give me a lot of problems, forgetting to,
Yeah,
change.
it's a technical frame.
Yeah. And, I can't really speak to how good it works because after a year, it still doesn't work. But I'm working on it. And I'm sure.
Yeah, man, just be persistent. You'll get it.
Yeah, and I'm sure as soon as I've got it working, I'm going to send it straight into a wall and break it. But
That's just the nature of everything now. You got to be willing to crash it. If you're willing to build it, you got to be willing to crash it.
yeah, it's like that's why I think that me coming originally from skating to this is such a logical thing because you build a skateboard to wreck it. You don't build one expecting.
Yeah, you're grinding it down. You're shaving it down and doing everything to it.
Yeah, it's what I've seen. People get new skateboards and within a day there'll be no paint left on it.
Yeah, stress cracks right down where the trucks are mounted. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a big guy. I'm way like probably 250 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I've been stress cracking skateboards since high school. I mean, I probably when I was skating every day, I'd probably go through a board every month.
Bloody hell. I've had what?
Yeah, but
Three
you know,
boards.
some of my friends were sponsored back then too, so it was like it was easy to get a blank deck.
Yes. I think the dumbest one I've done is I've managed to completely shatter a. I think they call them ABCs, bearings. Completely
Oh yeah,
shatter
yeah,
a
bearings.
whole set of them rolling off a curb.
You know what's crazy is I went to buy a set of bearings not too long ago, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'll just get the Swiss ones. Those are the ones I used to
Yeah,
get."
the
And they were
rest.
trying to charge me like $200 for a set of Swiss bearings. I was like, "Oh my god! Like, what happened to prices of bearings? They must be so ridiculously hard to make or something now. I don't
Yeah,
get
it's
it. The
because they're all.
bearings are really expensive now."
Yeah, it's got this all precision just to see, what's the most speed I can possibly get out of this.
Yeah, there's probably really tight tolerances and everything on them.
Yeah, I use Reds for now. What's Bones Smith Swiss made Reds,
Yeah, bones. Yeah,
and
yeah. I used to rollerblade too. I used to I used to play roller hockey probably for like 7, 8 years or something like that. And
I've never
we
heard
used
of
to go
roller hockey.
crazy with our bearings.
Yeah, it's
We'd swap our bearings out like after every game and stuff like that. It was crazy.
yeah. Well, I've got a skateboard that I've sent into the sea like 3 times with Reds in it. Rolls fine, no oil. Just as
Yeah,
good as the day I got them.
yeah. We used to use what kind of oil? What did we use? It was called like I think it was called like fire water or something like that.
Yeah,
And it was just like this bearing cleaner stuff, and we wash out our bearings with them.
yeah. I just get what they call tablet tubes. The tubes that you get like vitamin tablets and stuff. You put your water.
Okay.
You take the caps. Well, for red, you take the cap off of one side and put them all in the tube. They fill the tube up to just over where the bearings are with WD-40. Give it a shake, then
Oh
leave
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
overnight. Take it out, just put regular machine 3-in-1 oil in it.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
them back together, works great. No,
Yeah, we used to use white lithium grease.
it's just
We'd try to pack our bearings with like white lithium grease. That stuff was you just get it all over your hands and clothes. Oh god,
uh,
those were the days though. I miss it. I freaking my skateboard in here right now is just all cracked as shit. It's probably like 8 or 9 years old. I need to get a new one.
yeah. What the? You tried Revive skateboards?
I haven't. No. I
It's good.
did they make a wide board? That's the big question because I got big flat feet and I skate goofy and I push Mongo, so
Yeah,
I need like a big wide flat board.
yeah. So it's like what, like 9 inch or something, or wider than that.
Yeah, yeah, something like 8.75, 9.25 or something. Just really wide boards.
Yeah, I'm sure they will make that. It's because I'm like you. I've got big, long, wide feet, but I skate at 775. Just because,
Yeah.
just felt
I
more.
did like skinny boards a lot because I could flip them a lot
Yeah,
easier.
flip a lot
The
faster.
fat boards, I always had problems with flipping. They'd always flip slow.
Yeah, so I've got 775 and a 825 for bowls.
I used the wider one for the bowls and
Yeah,
the carving and everything. Yeah, that makes sense.
it's as good as a 775 is for everything else. It's just you don't get the same control over it in a bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. You got a little tiny thing underneath you. You're trying to like keep it underneath you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you need as much of that grip as you can get.
yeah.
What shoes do you use for skateboarding? I've turned this into an interview about you, by the way. What shoes? What shoes do you use when you skate? I've
I
always
used
found this interesting.
I used to use a brand called State,
Okay.
which I found them they were really good, really comfortable.
Grippy,
Yeah, it was
flat.
yeah, The way I'd explain them to my friends when they were when I was talking to them is it's like Vans on steroids.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's one reason I like Vans a lot is because they're nice and flat, and they usually use like a gum sole, and the gum soles tend to grip a little bit better.
yeah,
So I was always looking for a gum sole, but when I skated in shoes, they would last a month maybe. I would just rip them straight up.
yeah, it's what a pair of state shoes lasted me like 6 months. Give or
Yeah,
take. Then they stopped making
yeah.
them.
And if you're kick flipping a lot too, you're just gonna tear your shoes up real quick.
So I never really
That's
got
why I
good
learned
at
to
the
heel flip actually was to save my shoes.
yeah. I never got good at flat ground.
I wasn't really amazing either.
Yeah, it's like what
It's hard, man.
took me a year to learn to ollie. Just
Yeah,
'cause
yeah. Same thing with me.
try.
It probably took me like 2 years to learn how to skate properly and ollie properly.
Yeah,
Even now, I skate goofy and I push mongo. So
Yeah.
every time I skate in front of somebody, somebody's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
yeah.
It just looks funny when I skate.
It's you know like the way that I've taught a couple of my mates how to skate as well. So the best way that I've taught them is you're running onto ice, foot forward. You know that's the normal one, right? To figure
Yeah.
out if you're a regular or goofy. But then you take them to the top of the biggest hill in your area, and if they make
Mhm.
it down, they can ride a skateboard.
Yeah, man. Oh man, I lived on a hill when I was a kid. When me and my brother would skateboard every day,
Yeah.
and we took that hill so many times. And going down hills will determine what type of person you are.
Yeah, it's like nothing makes you learn faster
A
than
lot of
getting
people would
in
just
fear
bail
of
off
death.
or just hold on for dear life.
Yeah. It's the one that I've found that I've had problems with hills recently is speed wobble. It's just like killing me, you know?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of it is just trucks. What kind of trucks you're using? What kind of spacers? How
Yeah.
tight is it? You know, are your wheels pretty chewed up, or are they nice and soft still? Like a lot of that will determine like how much speed wobble you get.
Yeah, it's
That that was like I think that was like the most dangerous part of skateboarding was going downhill. But nowadays
yeah.
you got guys freaking bombing like the biggest hills on the planet, and then
It's
FPV guys just recording them. Like there's this one
yeah.
channel I follow, I forget who it is, but all they do is they bomb hills on longboards, and then the FPV guy records them.
Yeah, it's this one guy that I found, I think his name was Joseph Newman or something, who does like these massive hills that are like 5 miles down,
Yeah,
and they'll be like all curvy and stuff, and he's got these ones like hitting 100 kilometers an hour on a longboard, and it's just
jeez.
it's like, how is that humanly possible to go that fast and not come off? You know?
All right, yeah, it's a lot of the technology, man. Believe it or not, skateboard technology is starting to change again.
Yeah,
Like they get the specific shaped boards for bombing hills now, like foot pads, freaking toe hooks. They got special bearings. They got special wheels. They even have special suits on and shit now too.
yeah.
You got those like hand pucks where they have the little piece of plastic on the palm of their hand so they can
Yes.
actually carve in, put their hand down. That stuff's cool, man.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'd love
People
to
are
get
actually,
into. It's just no hill's big enough.
yeah, right.
It's what all the hills around here are big, are just small enough that I can go down it with a park spec board.
Yeah,
It's like solid wheels that half the hills they don't roll on, but if they do, you'll be wobbling very fast, like halfway down the hill.
yeah. That's the scariest thing when you're bombing a hill and it just starts to wobble, and then you can't unwobble it. It just keeps getting more intense.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Last
scary as
time I
fuck.
came off my skateboard was because of that.
Yeah, man. You always gotta have a plan B. Always look for that big piece of grass that you can bail into.
Yeah, act first, think later.
Yeah, exactly.
Start thinking when you're skating, that's how you get hurt. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of it is like that. I recently I was reading about flow states and video games. Like when you're in a flow state and you're relaxed, you can actually play video games up to 200% better than if you're panicking or if you're worried about something else or if you're overthinking or something like that.
Yeah.
You play 200% worse.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of the same thing as a runner's high, isn't it?
Oh
just
yeah,
get
yeah,
into
yeah, totally. Yeah, runner's high will get them into a flow state, and then they'll start not thinking about stuff, and they'll just keep going.
Yeah, it's the thing that I found running is, the first kilometre or something, you'll be dying. But after that,
Yeah.
if you're running a 5k, you get into that, runner's high. And,
Mm.
about 1k you'll be, panting and all that. Then 2k you'll be running past people, and if they know how far you're running, they'll like, you sure you're breathing because you're not. It's because
Yeah.
your breathing just slows down so much. And it just becomes.
Yeah, I have that. I have a actual heart problem with that too, and when I start like upping my output, like if I'm running or if I'm doing something like that, my heart will actually start beating slower. It'll go down to like 50 or 40 beats per minute, and it's just doing those big pumps and pumping blood in like big pumps instead of going faster. And I didn't even know this until I went to the hospital one time, and I forget what I was in there for, but they gave me an IV, and when they pricked my hand, my heart went into this state.
It's just like your adrenaline works
And
backwards.
yeah, it wasn't even like adrenaline. I think it was just the act of like the invasion of the needle, like started my heart into like a low flow state. It was kind of weird, and they were like only like Olympic people and like runners and bikers and stuff get this when their heart starts pumping crazy. I was like, oh really? That's interesting. I think it came from hockey. I played hockey for like 13 years or something like that, and we were going for like almost sometimes 2 hours at a time, and I think that's where my heart got that weird pumping state from. Was playing so much hockey.
Yeah, I don't know what was in my heart because I never done any of the stuff checking it when I was doing it, but I managed to go from a resting heart rate of about 45 to 110 in about 2 months.
Wow, that's impressive. Wow.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I recently got one of these Apple Watches, the Nike version of the Apple Watch, and it tells me like my heart rate, my blood oxygen level. It tells me all this crazy stuff, and it interrupts me in certain states, and it will be like, hey, you should probably breathe right now. But I'll be sitting here playing video games, and it'll start to get intense, and my watch will yell at me, and it'll tell me that I need to breathe and
what kind of video games do you play?
calm down and shit. It's kind of funny. I play a lot of Rocket League. Rocket League is my game right now. It's been my game for probably like 3 years or so.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard of Rocket League?
Yeah, I've heard of it a lot. I've just still never actually played it.
Yeah, it's car football. Basically, you're playing soccer with cars, and your car has like a jet propelled like accelerator on it, so you can actually jump up in the air and spin and twist. It's actually a lot like flying quads.
Yes, quite a few of my friends play it. And
Yeah,
it's
it's really fun. You can like stunt like you can with quads too. You can jump up in the air and do like a inverted yaw spin and hit the ball into the net at the same time. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's damn. I just guess I've just never really got good at that type of game.
Oh, it took me forever.
Yeah.
It took me like 6 months just to even like get all the concepts of it.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing it for like 3 years probably, and now I'm around like the top 10,000 people in the world. But that game has like really showed me like what time and dedication can do.
Yeah. was just saying, speaking of Rocket League, it's in the back of your video that just started playing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always up on my monitor right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Wow, that's an old car that I used to use. That was last year.
Yeah. So is that all of your quads that you've got up on the wall there now?
There's a lot more now, but yeah, there's a ton of them up there on the wall.
Yeah.
I love building them. Building them is so much fun to me. So like, I'll just like this week I rebuilt probably 4 quads just because it was raining outside for a week and I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I've rebuilt I think 4 just this week.
When you can't get it
I
flat, you've
re-
got to do something in it.
Yeah, just building them is so much fun to me. It's like a puzzle, you know, and each one's unique to its problems and has its own, things that I have to accomplish with that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wall, and there's a couple quads up there that haven't even flown. Like the one on the bottom left in red with that green TPU, that one has never flown. I maidened it straight into a river, and it's just been sitting on the wall ever since.
Fair. And I mean, it's one of these things. What does they say? Like, you can build 2 quads exactly the same, and they won't fly the same. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. They're aircraft, If one screw is loose, it's gonna fly completely differently.
yeah.
If you put the battery lead on the other side, it's gonna fly different.
Yeah, but there's also a negative to that, because what steel is so good now, just because he's been flying with the same rig for a year, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a big benefit to that too. I noticed that when I started flying because I was flying all these different frames, and I wasn't getting good.
Yeah.
I was like, why the fuck am I not getting good? It's because I was flying the time. And, I kind of go all out every single time, so I'll crash them real quick. I'll crash, up to 6 quads in a day. And and then I can't fly those quads anymore. Therefore, I won't get better at that quad. So recently, I've done this. I've moved over to a single frame, which is the Moon Goat, and I built 3 of them. Now, now I fly just that. I just fly 1 quad right now,
What
just because I want to get better at flying a certain quad.
Yeah. Moongoat's a Cricket's new frame, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, built by Omagod,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's Cricket's frame. I like it a lot. It's a good frame.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the Apex. It flies like the Apex.
Yeah, well, it's what they're both a stretched X, I think.
Squashed X.
Right.
They're both like squashed X. So the front and back motors are closer to each other than they are the left and the right,
Yeah. That's one thing
which I like. It gives you a lot more roll authority.
Right.
Because if you think about it, you don't really need pitch authority,
Yeah.
and that's what a stretch X gives you. That's mostly for racing. For racing, you want pitch authority because you want to be able to change your speed and direction very quickly. For freestyle, you want the roll authority because you want to be moving left to right. You want to be rolling in and out of stuff basically. So
Yeah.
if you have better roll authority, you can change your direction a lot quicker,
Right.
which I like a lot. I do like True X's as well. True X can be a lot of fun. They're more balanced, and you can kind of do both with them. But that squashed X, man, something about the squashed X, I just really like flying. It feels more natural in my hand,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that that's what Cricket and Tommy decided on making a squashed X.
Yeah. Well, I guess going back to it, it's the same ideas we were talking about earlier. As the 775 spins faster than a 8 or a 9. So is it kind of the same idea as that?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Oh, this thing keeps shouting at me.
This location right here, this is the school we've been flying at for a long time. There's the beginning of the Humboldt Quad Squad right there, the 3 of us.
Yeah.
And now we're probably like 8 or 9 deep, getting new members every day. I didn't know there were so many pilots around me. I slowly just started discovering everybody, and I just assembled this squad.
Yes.
And then now we're trying to fly like almost every day. It's crazy.
Yes, like, well, I thought that there would maybe be two, three other people in my area that fly, you know. But on the
Hmm.
Facebook group of my area, there's like 400 or 500 people.
No way. That's insane.
Yeah, I was just
And
trying
there's
to.
their group. Do you guys try to get together and fly together?
They do, you know, whoop races and stuff. I see quite a lot of.
Okay. But yeah, I think one of the best things to push a pilot to get better is to
Yeah,
fly with other people that are better than you. I think that's what helped improve my flying a lot. And and now it's there's only like one or two other people around me that are better than me. So it's like I try to invite them out as much as possible so I can get them to, when we go to a new spot, I'll watch them fly and they'll find different things that I've never even seen, you know? Like in the same spot I've been flying for a month and then these guys find different little like dive gaps or different holes or something
yeah,
and then I'll slowly add those into my line and I'll figure it out.
yeah,
Like a lot of different people have different insight. So it's really good to just keep flying with other people.
yeah. It's all a perspective thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's the
So,
objective perspective.
uh, I'm going to have to go back to it again, but the easiest way I'd explain it would be you got to get a lot better at skating if you live next to Tony Hawk rather than Frank for the local park, you know?
Exactly. And if you skate with the Tony Hawk every single day, he's got a ramp in his backyard. He has insight. He's done a 900 before. No, you do things
Yeah,
like that type of stuff is super valuable, especially when you want to learn quickly.
yeah,
I think that's why I built so many quads in the beginning was because I wanted to advance faster than a normal person. Normal person, flies one day a week, has maybe like one or two quads. If I have six quads and I fly 5 days a week, I'm gonna get better 5 times faster.
yeah,
So that's basically my formula was I build a bunch of quads. That way, if I crash one, I can just pick up another one and start flying again. And then if I fly, 5 times a week instead of one, then I will be, most of the time I'm out there flying by myself too, just me and my dog.
yeah,
And but when I meet up with my friends to fly, I have, they're like, wow, you really like improved over the past month. And I'd be like, whoa, really? Have I? I didn't even feel like I did, but I'm out there flying every day, so it's like it really, really helps.
yeah, yeah. So what's seen for your videos, it's a collie dog you've got in her.
Yeah, she's like a border collie mixed with a McNab. Her name's Chimichanga. She's like my best friend.
That's a good name, that.
Yeah, Chimichanga. Everybody loves that.
Yeah,
And she's over here sleeping on the couch right now.
man.
Lazy bastard.
Yeah. One thing I want to talk about is like, see for these videos, will you drill like, figure out a line, and then drill it like 6, 7, 8 times, then record it, or is it all just completely
Mm-hmm.
off the bat? Or
I'll record it every single time, and then I will go home and I will watch my footage, and I'll be like, oh well, like it was kind of shaky there, or if I rolled here, I could go into this gap here instead,
yeah,
you know, or I'll see a perspective that I didn't see. A lot of my great lines on different spots come from me reviewing my footage after like the first few times I flew there. Because a lot of times you don't see things that in your FPV camera that you would see in your GoPro. So I
yeah,
actually bring my footage. I record everything, and then I bring it home and I watch every single flight footage that I have, and I'll review it when I get home. And I'll just be like, "Oh, that was a good line," blah blah blah. And then this one, I did this here and that there, which I could have done better, or I should take this line over here instead after this trick, and
yeah,
just slowly analyze like what you're doing and what could be better and what you can improve on. And then the next time you go back to the spot, you have a plan and you can execute that line a lot better.
Yeah, that's what.
Like
So
that's really helped me. Just reviewing footage has helped me a lot.
yeah, it's one thing that I've found that I quite like doing now is especially like a drooler dribs. Well, drooler dribs stuff. You know, if I
Hmm.
see a new flight edit for them, I'll watch it 3, 4 times because each time, you know, you'll pick on something a little bit different than you did the last one.
Yeah, yeah. You get that perspective. You get that new idea.
Yeah. Slabs just keep shouting at me. Right, so
But yeah, like on this video I think is like 2 packs, and I was just feeling it that day. I was just in a flow state, and
yeah,
it was like end of the day, and I just started ripping, and my friends would just all shut up, and they got in the goggles and they were watching me, and they were just like, once I landed, they were just like, "Damn, that was a good pack," and I was like, "Oh, really?" Like I didn't feel like it,
yeah,
and then I ended up posting it because it was a pretty good 2 packs there.
yeah. The one I'm seeing now is in some. I don't know where it is. It's a big loch.
Yeah, yeah. This is out by the in the bay where we're at. There's a lot of like decrepit industrial scenes out here in the bay.
Yeah.
And this
Well,
is actually my buddy doing a Mavic shot right here.
yeah,
Yeah, these are just like establishing shots with the Mavic. We got all these crazy like abandoned docks and broken down piers and shit like that out here.
yeah,
Uh, there's a lot of highly visual things out here that we've been flying lately. I can't wait to get some of my videos out. I just got to sit down and edit. That's my goal for tonight, actually.
yeah. I feel like editing's one of those things. Is you got to be in the right mood. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. That's the hardest thing for me is to actually sit down and edit. But once I get into it and I'm sitting there dedicated to it,
Yeah,
I will not get up from the computer for like 2 days.
yeah.
And then like I learned how to edit last year. Like I just started getting into Premiere Pro, and then I just started finding out different little tricks here and there. I had other pilots like talk me through different things, and then I slowly got a good grasp of it. I'm still learning about it too. I'm still trying to figure out certain things,
Yeah,
but yeah, editing is one of those things where it's like it's a whole nother skill that you have to learn.
yeah. So I was thinking of
It's
moving over.
just as detailed as flying itself.
Yeah, I was thinking of moving over to the Premiere Pro because right now I use a what's it, Filmora 9 or something.
Filmora, yeah,
Yeah, and you can't really get help with that because everyone else uses Premiere.
yeah, yeah. It seems to be the industry standard right now, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's a little expensive.
yeah. It's what
But
90 quid or something.
I think it's worth if you're going to be editing every week, it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends what you're doing because what for the extent of the two things that I've put up with it currently have been, you know, cinematic edits
Yeah,
and it's you get all these people doing all this color correction and stuff. The extent of mine is I've cut it up, uh,
hmm
picked the two things that I liked out of it. Well, no, I mean I've done like 2 packs worth, but because I done
okay,
them on an AFI, 2 packs is like 40 minutes.
yeah,
So we go through that, pick out what I want, what I think's good. Kind of
yeah, yeah.
style
You
them all
cherry
together.
pick your footage.
Yeah, just put it all together.
Yeah,
Pick a song. That's it.
yeah, yeah, and it's kind of strange too. Some of the flights I've done, I had the song in mind beforehand, like what song I'm going to use when I go out and fly, and I'm like, I'm going to edit this flight with this song, and then I slowly pick, what footage matches to the pace of that song. And then there's other times where I'll just go out and fly, and then I'll come back later, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, I want to use this song for this because it's at this pace, or I just really like this song,
Yeah.
or I just really like this footage, and I just need a song. Like the song choice stuff is really interesting. There's a lot of methods to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Now, an idea that I've quite, well, an idea that I think I'd be quite a good one is, you'd listen to a song, like if you're doing a one take freestyle one, listen to a song 9, 10 times, something like that. So you can
Yeah.
get where all the beat drops and stuff are.
Hmm.
And then listen to the song while you're flying. And I feel like that would get you a good, make
Yeah,
the
see, I still haven't done that yet. There's something about putting headphones on when I already have like goggles on and everything.
yeah,
I just can't. I can't do it. I have to hear the sound of like the throttle and the propellers and all that stuff. And
yeah,
something about the headphones like makes me sketched out that something's gonna happen and I won't be able to hear it or something like that. But yeah, there's a bunch of people that wear headphones when they fly and they do great. But I just haven't gotten to that point yet. I guess I don't know.
I guess it's just got to be,
I
what you're vibing with
yeah,
and what
yeah.
you're not.
Yeah, it's got to be what you figure out. It's really interesting. But like I think my next edit that I'm working on right now, I think I'm actually going to use several different songs and like cut them.
Yeah,
You'll see. You'll see when it comes out in the next week. You're going to love it. It's going to be an amazing video.
cool, cool.
And actually Tommy's in it.
Man,
And it's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be comical. It's going to be really funny actually. That's most of what it's going to be is comedy.
yeah. Right, a question about the video I've got that's on the now is, it's the flying on Mars or something.
Yeah.
Was was that like during when all the wildfires were about, and that's why it's so red?
Exactly. Yeah, the Northern California wildfires from I think it was last year,
Yeah,
and I woke up from my bed and I looked outside and like my entire house was glowing orange because of all the smoke in the air and the sunlight coming through it.
yeah,
My house was glowing orange through the windows. And I was like, I got to get outside and fly this. This is amazing. Like no one ever sees this.
yeah. So that
So
was,
eventually, I mean, the first like few packs I flew, the GoPro settings were so bad that you couldn't even see the orange. The GoPro was actually color correcting for the orange, so you couldn't even see it. So I had to. It took me like an hour and a half, but I found the right GoPro settings to where I could actually get the orange captured. And this is actually how it looked outside. It's crazy.
yeah, 'cause that's something that has been bugging me since the first time that I saw this. Like, why is it?
Why is it so orange?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I just thought it looked like Mars. Like when I woke up and I looked outside and it was orange like that, I was like, it looks like freaking Mars outside. So
yeah.
eventually, I just titled it that.
Yeah, it's like, I was just wondering why. Like, first time I saw it, I didn't know who it was taken at the time of the wildfires. I'm like, why does it look like Armageddon?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. That's just one of the seasons of California's wildfire seasons.
yeah,
I think we have earthquake season, riot season, flood season,
tornadoes
and
and
wildfire
earthquakes
season.
in California, or hurricanes.
Yeah, right. And there's no hurricanes over here, fortunately.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I don't really know about that. America's just all one place to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's that perspective.
Yeah, but I guess it's also, for you, it's the whole of the UK's one place instead of Scotland, England, Ireland, and Wales.
Yeah, right. I think everybody just like lives at Stonehenge and shit.
Yeah,
But yeah, it takes me like 11 hours or something to drive down to LA.
yeah.
Like that's how far north I am right now.
But
It's like
how
an
big
11-hour
is?
drive. How long does it take to drive across the island out there?
I don't know. I'll Google it.
got to take like what, 5-6 hours or something
Well,
like that to
where
go from
I
one coast
am
to the other.
to what are you talking like top to bottom or side to side?
Yeah, side to side probably, because
Side
top
to
to
side is
bottom it's longer, right?
yeah, it's well where I am it takes 7 hours to drive from here down Manchester. So
Jeez, yeah, that's 7 hours. That's pretty big. Yeah, so it's almost like the length of California. 'Cause I think total, if you're going to drive from the top part of California to the bottom part, I think it takes like 14 hours, 15 hours, which is
well
insane. It's way too much. But you can see here, these are the the forests that I live around. Like
yeah
this right here is just one of the community forests. This isn't even like the real ancient, like crazy forest. This is just like the one that's down the block.
yeah
But
it's
you can see how tall these trees are. They're like each one of these trees is like over 100 feet.
yeah it's well I've just googled it and it says 11 or 12 hours full speed. Well, at legal
Jeez,
speeds.
that's crazy.
From top to bottom, and it's probably take 3 or 4 across, I guess.
So you got almost like the size of California,
Yeah,
the
something like that.
entirety of the island.
Yeah, with the size of California, we've got 3, 4 countries.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I've been over on the east side of the U.S. too, and their states are like, it takes like 45 minutes to get through some of them.
yeah. Well, it's depending on what part of the UK you're driving across, because some of it could be quite long if if you're going from Ireland to the other side of England, well, into Wales or something.
Yeah,
Because well, Northern Ireland has separate island,
yeah,
but it's still counted as the UK. So if you're driving through England into Wales, I guess that would take you a bit longer as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm seeing you chasing a monster truck in this one. Is that
Oh yeah,
what
that
you
was
have it for?
some random guy that we met there, who, and then him and his friend were both like racing RC cars,
Yeah.
and it turned out that his friends know my friends, and he's a tattoo artist, and he runs a certain shop and stuff, and I've actually been out a couple times with him since.
Yeah.
One thing about FPV is, man, you really attract certain types of people when you start flying, and people will come up to you and talk to you and ask questions. And I think I've gotten probably like 10 people into FPV just by them randomly walking up to me while I'm flying. And I'll see them, months later, and they're like, "Hey, check out this drone I got," and blah 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 blah, blah. And I'm gonna get into FPV here soon, and it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is quite a intriguing look, when you see this guy standing there.
Yeah, it's something that you don't see every day. Random
Yeah.
people just walk around and then they see this drone going at 100 miles an hour. And they're like, "What is that? I want to do that."
Yeah. Or it's even just, they hear the noise.
Yeah, yeah. The noise is interesting. But at this spot, actually, where I'm flying right here, I actually met one of the people that's in our quad squad now, and I heard his drone from like a mile away, and I was like, "I hear the song of my people," and I just went running and I found this guy,
Oh, really
and I
that
met him,
good.
and now we talk like every day.
It's just, it's one thing I want to see, right? I want them to do like a proper test. How loud are drones?
Yeah, like decibel wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say it really has to do with the props that are on there too, and
Yeah,
how they
for
cut through the air. Because you use like a quad bladed prop, you're getting a high pitched noise.
yeah,
If you use like, a shorter prop, use like a 3-inch prop on a 5-inch drone, and that thing is going to be loud as shit.
yeah. It's what Steel done one. I think he used like the frame from, oh my god, Butter Quad or something. I think it's like
Oh yeah.
Stealth Quad or something. And he's made on that was, I think he had it on bi blades, 7-inch bi blades or something like
Uh-huh.
that. And it was like
It's
a
super quiet.
really quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy has a 3-inch drone on Bio Blades that is just ridiculously quiet. You can't hear it until it's like 5 feet away from you.
Yeah.
Sneaky little drones.
Well, I guess it also have to do with attack angle of your props and all that, no?
Yeah, it's just however your blades are cutting through the air. That's what's making the noise is the friction. So if you have a higher friction when you're slicing through the air, then you're probably gonna have a higher pitch prop noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I've been using quad blades a lot recently, in the past like 8 months or so.
Yeah, it's
Man, I
what.
can't help but push them hard enough. Man, everybody on my team has started using quad blades just because they bite better, they feel better. You can get
It's
more precise with them. You have more control.
yeah, it's
There's
what.
all kinds of cool benefits.
Yeah, quad blade you want to get a higher low end or something like that.
You get more your tips bite in the corner better. So you like if you're pushing against the air,
Yeah.
you're going to get more acceleration, more thrust from the extra surface area that you have.
Yeah. Won't you also lose quite a lot of flight times though?
You can. Yeah, it kind of depends on your setup, but
Yeah.
and the pitch of the props. If the pitch of the props is low enough and you could get like better gains.
Yeah. Yes. So.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about drones is like you can change things slightly and you could be flying a completely different drone.
Yeah.
And
It's
so there's been people, trying to develop the formulas like, oh, you need this size motor, you need this size battery, you need this size prop. And then people go through and they change one thing and then it flies completely differently.
yeah. Guess it's just kind of like it's like fine tuning a race car, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Which I used to do actually. I used to street race a lot down in LA
Yeah.
and Orange County and stuff like that. And basically, I grew up street racing,
Yeah.
and going to street races. That shit was fun. But yeah, it was all about how much horsepower you can tune out of your car.
Yeah. It's like I feel like that's the type of thing that you get a lot of, street racing is like, if you're not doing it my way, you're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a lot of opinions. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know. Do you play? One other question I've got down is, do you play any instruments or anything?
Instruments, not really. I thought I could play guitar back in the day. I couldn't. Um, right now I have a beat machine, like an MPC 1000, that I like to mess with every once in a while.
Yeah. Is that like a MIDI controller or
I
something?
do wish I could play an instrument. It would take up a lot of my time, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's a big thing.
it's the perfect time to learn to play one. It's just, you can't really get
Yeah,
it anywhere.
I could play the triangle pretty good, I guess. Tambourine, maybe.
Triangles
I
are
mean, I can
fine
pretty
art.
much pick up an instrument and try to keep up with people. I've done that a bunch of times. My buddy in Orange County, we used to make like rap beats a lot, and we just pick up random instruments and start playing them. and yeah, in that way, I can kind of like pick up a bass guitar and like hold a bass line and then like record it. But I'm not good at all, you know.
Yeah. That's not. I feel like the thing with that is you don't have to be good. You just have to be good enough.
Yeah, good enough, exactly. Good enough to get away with it. That's
Yeah.
pretty much with anything, any skill, really. If you're
Yeah.
gonna perform or if you're gonna, put videos up online, you just got to be good enough.
Yeah.
And even sometimes when you're not good enough, people like to see the progress. They're like, "Oh, last year this guy sucked, and now he's freaking amazing." Like the progress thing is a lot of what people care about.
Yeah, and I feel that'd be quite a interesting one to watch as well, wouldn't it?
Oh
You know,
yeah, definitely.
um, it's like one of the things I was thinking of. You know, when I get my drone working, I was thinking of doing like I was thinking of calling it something like Nope to Dope, like a
That's
series.
good. I like that. Nope to dope.
You know, kind of like the Bardwell's what's it, 3 packs a day till I get into
Yeah,
a series,
yeah.
something along
Dude,
the lines
even
of that.
watching Bardwell's progress, his freestyle progress on those 3 packs a day things
Yeah,
is kind of impressive. You know, you never would have thought like Bardwell sucks so bad, and then you watch him do this like 3 packs a day thing, and then you're like, wow, he's actually getting good. He's starting to like throw his own little creative stuff into it and get it
yeah,
down.
yeah.
It's
It's
really
like
interesting. I would love to fly with him someday.
yeah, it's for Bardwell. What's a guy that knows so much about drones, and you know, on the last one that I did with he said that you know he wanted to be the Bardwell of drone streaming. It's
Yeah,
like he's such a big name in the hobby that he's turned into a you know the this.
yeah,
But for
definitely. And it
somebody,
just goes to show too, like there's so many aspects of this hobby that you could get into. And you know, he's like really hard into like the technical aspect and like explaining and teaching people and shit. But you know, when
yeah,
it came down to it, his freestyle wasn't that good. But now he is.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like really cool to see as well that you know he's looking for that extra. You know, he's like he is this well the FPV you know all, and he's wanting to you know expand
Yeah.
his horizons to the. Yes, he's like you know so I can tell you everything you could ever want to know about drones.
Yeah.
So I guess it's time for him to. He states right, yeah, it's time for me to get better at this aspect of it, which is like a
Yeah, right?
really cool thing.
Who knows? Maybe next year he'll start racing.
Well, didn't he do a couple races with Vanover or something?
Oh, I'm sure he has done some races too. But you know, he doesn't do it like every day. There's a lot of people in this industry that just are in it for racing, which is really interesting. You know,
Yeah,
I would love to race too. I think I would be pretty good at it, but I don't have any facilities around here. We don't have a fucking we don't have a what do they call that? What's the organization that does the races?
Orca.
I forget the name of it. But yeah, we don't have any of those
Multi-GP or something.
chapters around here. So we were actually thinking about starting a racing chapter out here and
Yeah.
then just running it ourselves. You know, we got like eight or 10 pilots. so, so it couldn't be that bad.
Yes, well, I guess for racing, all you really need is 2 people.
Yeah, you just need some people that are dedicated and ready to go and not going to flake. And
Yeah.
you got to race. I've tried racing a lot. We have gates and stuff. Like one of our friends gave us gates,
Yeah.
and we'll bring them to spots every once in a while. And we'll set them up. Like if there's like a building and then there's like a big grass area, we'll set up gates on the grass area, and then we'll like hit the gate and then dive the building and then go back to the gate or something like that. But I mean, gates are fun.
Yeah.
But I kind of enjoy like the free roaming aspect more.
Yeah. Well, this one that thought was pretty cool with that was a Rotorite video, the one where they had you know the ancient quads, and you know they took
Oh yeah,
gates out there, and they started instead of you know using it to make a course, they used it as a different obstacle, as a dive gap, as something to loop, you know.
yeah.
And it's like that's one of the things that I find so interesting about different people, the way that they can the way that you know watching all these different people fly, the way that they all utilize the environment differently.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. You know, you go fly a spot, 20 times, and then the one time you bring your friend, he finds like 6 other things that you never even thought of.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good to get those perspectives every once in a while, even from people that aren't pilots. You know, my brother has had some great ideas, and he's not really a pilot per se. Like, he just started flying recently. Like, I gave him a quad and equipment and stuff, and he just started flying. But like he had different perspectives on things that I wouldn't even have thought of.
Yeah.
Just because like my brain has been pounded with FPV for the past 2-3 years, and his hasn't, and he thought of other things that I couldn't even think of.
Yeah. Just again, it's all just different perspectives of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It really pays off to get those different perspectives.
Yeah. It's like one that I saw. Do you know who Herman Lee is? It's not anything to do with drones or anything.
I do
Guy
not.
called, well, it's a guy called Herman Lee. He is one of the greatest guitarists alive today.
Oh yeah, I
Plays
just
in,
looked him up on Wikipedia.
yeah, plays in
British
Dragon
Hong
Force.
Kong musician.
Yeah,
Oh, he's the guy in Dragon Force.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. Then I've seen him play before. He's freaking insane.
yeah, and it's I've seen him do a cover of. There's another guy called The Do, who's also like a really, really like insanely talented musician,
Yeah.
and he covered one of the Do's songs. Well, he didn't cover it. He like played it on stream with him.
Oh,
It's
nice.
just like the different takes that they both made with improvisation and stuff on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Just add a
just
little here, subtract a little here.
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, music's one of those things where like creatively you can take something and turn it into something completely different,
yeah,
but still maintain like the same overall idea.
yeah. It's one that I hear quite a lot. Is it's the as well as I can play the exact same song as my mate, and it will sound different.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because he might
If you
slide
you
a
have a
bit earlier.
classical guitarist background or a metal guitarist background,
Yeah,
you can make one song sound completely different.
yeah, and it can even just go down to things as little as he might slide, half a second before I would, or
Mm-hmm.
bend like a quarter of a semitone higher,
Yeah,
and it just sounds completely different.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can get that like different feeling from it,
Yeah,
sharpness or an extended period of it. See,
well,
like this video right here. This is the one of the videos where I had the song in mind before I even recorded.
yeah,
So, like I kind of knew what song I wanted to use,
yeah. I
and
have to
then I
go back
just
and
slowly kind of flew to that song in my head.
yeah, I have to go back and rewatch all of your videos with the sound on because I've got them muted now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because don't know if any of it's copyrighted, and YouTube will strike
Oh yeah,
anything and
I'm sure
everything
it
they
is.
can.
I'm sure every song I used was copyrighted.
Yeah,
I don't care though. I'm not in it to monetize my YouTube. That's one thing I found out is that if you monetize your YouTube, it really restricts what you can post. Like you can't
yeah.
really post that much stuff.
But it's the
so
way that
so I made a decision early on to just not monetize, and that way I could post whatever I wanted.
yeah, but
I think it was the best decision.
it's what YouTube is. See if you've got your things, monetized and it can't get copyrighted. They they push it more into the algorithm
Yeah,
because they can make more money, and especially, well, at least with streams, they'll just strike your entire stream down, like they'll just stop it
yep,
if something's
yeah.
copyrighted.
That's one of the big problems nowadays too.
Yeah,
All these digital rights management. It's a big hot button issue right now.
yeah. And you know what? Even when I made a video a while ago that got, I used all of 4 seconds of a copyrighted song in it.
Oh yeah,
That got
they
struck by
got you for it.
UMG within 3 seconds
Mm-hmm.
of it going live, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
they have these like AI scanners that scan every single video ever released on YouTube, and then they find copyrighted material,
yeah.
and it's crazy.
But the way the scanners work, it just isn't. It doesn't sit right right with me, because it's they that 4 seconds of that song didn't really add much to the video.
Yeah.
It's what you can legally use a song if it doesn't have if the content isn't that song, if you're building a significant amount on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Like 4 seconds is enough for them to legally get into your pants.
yeah,
It's unfortunate.
it's one of these things like how far is too far.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the line that needs to be defined, and YouTube's kind of dropping the ball. They're being forced legally to do a bunch of this stuff, but a lot of it is for their own benefit.
Yeah, I think it's one of the dumbest things that I've found with it is I've heard from quite a few people that see instead of if you try and appeal a copy strike, that doesn't get sent to YouTube,
Hmm.
that gets sent to the person that copyrighted you.
Yeah,
It's like if they copyrighted you
yeah,
in the
and
first
it's
place, why
usually
are
a
they?
third party too.
Yeah,
A lot of times it's a third party. It's a company. It's one company. I forget the name of it, but they basically are employed by these like movie industry people and the music industry
yeah,
people, and their job is to write the AIs that go out there and grab all these copyright infringements
yeah. It's
and
what it's
send DMCA's to everybody.
yeah, it's this what UMG, Sony. Oh, and there's another one. I can't mind what that one is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So another question I've got wrote down for you is: did you go to college? If so, what did you
I
study?
yeah, I did. I went to a bunch of different colleges. So out here in California, they have what they call the governor's fee waiver.
Yeah.
So if you go to a community college, they actually waive your tuition, and you don't have to pay your tuition. You basically only pay for your books and your parking pass. So I went to probably like 8 years of community college for free, and I studied all kinds of things: sociology, I studied psychology, I studied art, photography, mostly computer science, though. I studied mostly computer science,
Yeah.
but I studied all kinds of shit: robotics. I studied all anything I could get my hands on, basically. And the thing with the community colleges in California, I went to like three different ones, but the thing about that is the teachers there are basically like Cal State school teachers, but
Yeah.
they work at the community colleges at night and on weekends. So you're getting basically a university level education from these teachers that are working at community colleges, and I got tuition for free. So I basically got a free education. And I never graduated or anything. I didn't really need to or want to. I kind of just I fell into being an IT person, and I had a good job, and I just kept going with that. And I left school eventually, and I just to be an IT guy. And then eventually I opened up a comic book shop with one of my friends, and then quit that job. I quit being an IT person to run this comic book shop,
Yeah.
and then I started investing in like Bitcoin and stock market shit, and eventually I was making enough money to not even have to work anymore. So now I don't work. I just sit at home and I think about drones in the Bitcoin market.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Mm.
Yeah.
Some days it's not like right now I'm making money right now, but yesterday I wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I've always found the idea of the stock market's interesting, but it's became just kind of a joke between me and my friends. We'll just go tech what the Tesla stocks are
Yeah,
because
Tesla stocks are great right now
we
too.
just we just find it so funny all the time because when we were checking them, they were always in red.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's when you buy.
yeah, I'll check it now. Tesla's a
Yeah.
negative 41.90.
Uh, yeah, there's a lot of shit right now that's in the negatives.
Yeah. Well, it's just on the stocks app on the iPhones now. Everything that is on that is in the negative.
Yeah, it'll go back up eventually.
Yeah.
That's the one cool thing about the Bitcoin market is that your rarity also increases. So like they're not making Bitcoins anymore. Back in the day, they were mining Bitcoins and creating Bitcoins.
Yeah.
But now there's no more Bitcoins being created. So there's an extra rarity. So you actually will only make money over time. So like as long as you stay invested, you're gonna make money, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool over the stock market to where like they can just say, okay, we're gonna make 500 more shares of this company. They can just do that one day, and that could drive the price up or down again. But in the coin market, the crypto market, there's actually a rarity built into it to where it doesn't matter. Like they can't, like no government is going to be able to manipulate that market to your disadvantage,
Yeah.
which is kind of great. It's like an ungoverned, unsanctioned version of money, and it's been working out great for millions of people right now.
Yeah, it's what a big guy on YouTube now, Mr. Beast. I'm pretty sure he invested. That's what his thing was. He invested in Bitcoin
Oh yeah,
10,
yeah,
11
Mr.
years
Beast,
ago,
man, he's smart.
and
He's
now
a
he's
smart
like,
kid.
yeah, and now he's what 24 or something. I think he's like a billionaire or something.
Yeah, right.
Just 'cause
We
he
should look that up.
got in at the right time, and it just like I'm sure a lot of it was to do with long
Yeah, it
calculated.
says his net worth is about $16 million.
Yeah, and what's he 20 something?
Yeah, yeah, he's just some kid with a camera who decided to give stuff away, and then all of a sudden it blew up.
Yeah,
Like that's a cool life he's got for him and his friends.
yeah. And from what I've heard, what I've heard from people on the internet. He's like a really genuine guy as well.
Yeah, he seems like it from his videos.
Like he's absolutely loaded, but that's not made him any less of a person.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's not changing him. But who knows? Maybe it is. And we don't know his day to day actions. He might be a completely different person now.
Yeah, and it's just like well, at least on the internet as well. A lot of people that become wealthy all over the internet, they just become like some the most toxic people.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that a lot actually. There is a lot of those people out there, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'll make a promise to you to never change. I'll still be me, even when I make millions of dollars.
you
I'll
sure?
still do interviews with you.
Yeah, you sure? But I'll check in. You think I won't?
Yeah, please come check in. Keep me leveled. Keep me grounded.
Yeah, if you change, I'll promise to put you on the naughty step.
Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got a new camera recently. I got a Canon M50 with like a nice microphone and everything too. So I'm gonna start doing more like
Vloggy.
vlog style type of talking to the camera. And I think my next video is gonna have a little bit of that in it too.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. I meant to get the video out before this Friday so I could play it on Bot's stream, but it looks like it's gonna have to be next week.
Yeah. No, when is it the bot streams actually? Because
Friday at 6 o'clock my time, which I think would be like
five
I'm
hours
not
ahead,
sure
so 11.
exactly what GMT would be. It's 6 o'clock PST, so
That's about 11.
yeah, probably 11 your time.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yes.
but were amazing, or they are amazing. Like they definitely bring together the community,
Yeah.
and there's a really cool like helping and loving sort of attitude for everybody towards everybody else. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's like one of the only communities that I've seen that people just aren't toxic towards each other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, you can go to a field with 30 people, say 30 people that you don't know that are on this hobby,
Mm,
and somebody's flying the same frame as you. You break yours. If you've met them within the hour, the majority of them will just give you an arm if you don't have one.
yeah, yeah. Or they'll help you go find your quad, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The community's freaking awesome. And actually, Bot Grinder has become one of my close friends, and I couldn't be more grateful for that.
Yeah.
He's actually a really good guy.
Yeah, seems like a really nice guy. It's one of the people that I was also talking
Yeah,
about. Like, one of the things I was talking about when I was doing this one of these ways, is like, was one of the people that I'd love to, get on this, because I feel like he'd be a very
yeah, yeah,
interesting,
yeah. Definitely, I can help you get him on. That'd be not even a problem.
Yeah, hit him up when I've done 20, 15, 20 of these, just because the difference between my 18 and his 24,000,
Yeah,
subscribers.
yeah, yeah. I posted the link to this in his chat room on Discord,
What is it?
and
Can you send me
that's
a
I
link
think
to
Rax is
Discord?
still in here. Who's all
Yeah.
still in here?
I don't know, I was just saying I've got two people that might be just you and Rax, if you're still on it.
Look, 508's in it.
How is it that you tell who's in the chat? I don't know how to work YouTube.
Yeah, if you use something like Streamlabs or something like that, I think it gives you a list.
I've got a... Yeah, I'm using Streamlabs for it. I check the participants list, it only comes up with me.
Yeah, sometimes it lags actually. Sometimes it
Yeah.
doesn't work properly.
Yeah. Anyway, do you think
That's
you could
one
send
thing
me
that's going to be improving over this year is that streaming tools are going to get better.
Yeah, because there's so many people that have just taken off.
Yeah, I'm going to start streaming here pretty soon too. I just got myself a soundboard. I got like some cool sounds like this one. I got all kinds of different sounds. Like I got all kinds of weird little things going on over here. I got myself a stream deck, a soundboard, a nice microphone. How's my microphone sound, by the way?
Smooth.
Smooth?
Yeah.
Super smooth. I could do like effects like that.
Yeah. I don't know, how does mine sound? Because I've got, a pretty decent microphone going.
Yeah, your sounds great actually.
Cool. Because I've got mine plugged into like a proper audio interface into my computer.
A nice mixer. You got an XLR mic and a nice mixer.
No, I've got a Focusrite studio microphone.
Nice. Nice condenser microphone.
Yeah, plugged into a Focusrite Scarlett i2, I think.
Oh, that's your mixer board?
Yeah, it's just it's like the same interface that everyone uses, just because it's like, what, I think it's like
Gets the
90
job
quid
done.
mixer, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a much smaller version of the one that they use in a lot of the recording studios. Because instead of only the difference between it is instead of 30 inputs, I've got 2,
Yeah.
and it's like it's the
That's
same.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's the same circuit board for, as well as far as I know at least. It's the same circuit board for every one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they've wired in extra inputs, so I'm getting a premium quality thing for 90 quid.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I bought my freaking audio interface is a Go XLR, and it was like freaking $500 or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like I definitely could have gotten away with using a cheaper tool.
Yeah, but that's going.
But I
against
wanted
your
the
supr
I wanted the
dlux.
soundboard, you know.
Yeah, but
I just have so much fun with that.
yes, getting rid of your, getting you, fuck, you getting a cheaper tool's not going with your super deluxe ways of things. Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Hence the name.
Yeah. Honestly, it's
They
like a
do all
good
kinds of
name.
weird voices. Like, here we go. This is like a stormtrooper voice, a megaphone. Execute Order 66. And it has like a robot voice,
Oh.
and then like I can change it to like a female voice.
Look, my name is now Veronica.
Like you could change it in all these kinds of crazy ways. There's like echo. There's the echo.
Yeah.
Testing. Hello? Anybody in here? Like
Oh,
there's all kinds of cool shit with this one. I've been messing around with my friends on video games and stuff.
yeah.
We'll be playing video games and I'll just start like just playing sounds and like talking to them in different voices and stuff. And they love it.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Things with voices. This really nice guy I was speaking to yesterday who streams as a fluffy NL. Who's I was talking
Yeah.
to him about it yesterday. He's got this thing that I think it like gives him bad bones, but also lets his vocal cords stretch very very far.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
so cool, but it like
It's almost like a distortion pedal or something.
um, I don't know. I think the easiest way to think of it is there's a big whammy bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can like stretch it almost like a whammy bar stretches a note on a guitar.
Yeah, it's like his voice can go up so high that it completely freaks me out, but it is honestly so cool.
Yeah, man. I have one of my good friends out here. He has like a giant board full of guitar pedals, and they are
Yeah.
so much fun to play with.
I've only currently got my one guitar pedal, but it works enough.
Yeah, man. You got to start somewhere too.
Yeah. Well, I've got one guitar pedal and 4 guitars, so
You know, one thing's really cool is a lot of these guitar pedal companies are starting to come out with kits to where you can actually like solder together your own
yeah.
pedals. And I always thought that would be pretty cool if someone who's into FPV and then also into guitars, and you could buy a pedal kit and solder it up yourself, you know?
Yeah, it seems like a very backwards compatible with the two hobbies, because
Yeah, yeah.
unlike most people that play the guitar, if I burn out a pickup on my guitar, I can go change it instead of having to go hire some luthier for $500 an hour
Yeah.
just to unscrew a couple of strings and unscrew a couple of bolts and it's like that's why it's one of the. I feel like FPV is just a really good hobby. Oh, there's me chat updated now.
Oh,
508 FPV gaming. Sup? Oh, it was Rack Sterling.
yeah, 508. What's up, bro?
Sup, peeps. Alright, this might work. This should make my voice really distorted if it works right.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's crackly too.
Yeah, that's because my mic's just peaking so hard when you do it. Because it's like I've normally got my thing at like half, little less than halfway on the gain. So I
Oh,
just
yeah.
put it right up. It's
You know what I did recently is I bought it's called a cloud lifter, and it takes XLR input, and I put that on my microphone, and that thing is amazing. It basically cuts off the peaks and valleys, and it makes your voice sound super smooth. So, but I also have like a Shure SM7B microphone too.
yeah.
So that microphone is just amazing in the first place. But then I use a cloud lifter on it, and then a soundboard on it too. So it just like it sounds super nice
Yeah.
right now.
I'm sure I'll eventually invest more into microphones and stuff if this ends up going anywhere. But I feel like what I've got going now will work for a long time.
Yeah, man. That's what I tell pilots all the time, just with FPV. But like, if you have, a drone or parts or something, just put that shit in the air, man. Like, get it in the air. Let's go. Let's go fly. I don't care what you got. I don't care how expensive it is or how cheap it is. Let's
Yeah,
fucking let's go. Let's fly. You
it's
know? Like same
anything's
thing with
better.
mics and your computer setup and everything. And like, it doesn't matter, man. Let's play.
Yeah,
Let's fucking record. Like, let's get it going.
it is. But one thing that one of my mates was saying about when I first, got this microphone, because all my stuff's still getting run off a laptop,
Yeah.
and it's like I've got the biggest gaming setup out of all of my friends off of a laptop. It's like I took what I had and I made it work. That's what
Yeah, exactly, man. That's been most of my life is like, what can I find to let's get this shit working.
yeah,
Like, I don't care if it's cheap parts or whatever. Let's fucking go. So a lot of my friends in my quad squad and shit too. Like, they'll crash their drone, and I'll just like, they're like, oh, I broke my VTX. I can't fly today. I'll just fucking rip a VTX out of one of my quads and hand it to them. Like, get
yeah,
back in the air, man. Let's go. We're out here to fly.
yeah. Speaking of breaking VTX,
Like, here's a freeze. Let's go.
yes, I am the only person I've ever heard of that's managed to blow up a tramp. And keep in
Yeah,
mind,
tramps are pretty durable,
yeah,
man. I still have one somewhere around here.
yeah, it's just keep in mind I've also never flown that drone. It's like
Oh, that's funny.
I've also blown up one of the cricket motors.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've gone through at least 4 or 5 of them already.
Only that drone's only ever had 10 seconds of test hover, and out of sims, that is my uh, FPV experience as the extent of it.
Yeah. Well, man, let's get you back up in the air, man. We need to get you out
Yeah.
there.
So it's just this. I've got to figure out it's something with my controller spot. It's just the right stick is inverted,
Oh, really?
and I don't know how to fix it. I've asked Bardwell and all that. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably like part of the mixer inside of your radio itself.
Yeah,
You probably just have to invert that.
yeah.
Either that or the gimbal was put in upside down or something, which I doubt can even happen. I don't know.
Well, I guess it's just one of these things. It's realistically, I've probably set the radio up wrong.
Hmm.
It's just the, going back through it, figuring out where I set it up wrong.
Yeah, yeah. And I did that a lot in the beginning, man. I fried, I think, 3 ESCs before I even got one of them to work.
Yeah. So what this
Like,
is.
there was a lot of trial and error in my beginnings, that's for sure.
Yeah. My first one, the only thing that's the original from the first thing, the first bundle of parts that I bought, only things that have
Mhm.
stayed the same on that drone is the motors in the frame.
Yeah. Yeah, which are usually the like the most expensive part, which are usually going to be like the,
Yeah.
the parts that you keep the longest too.
Yeah, and
Especially frames, Like when in the beginning I bought Armatan frames just so that if I did crash it or break it that I have a lifetime warranty that I could
yeah,
uh just reclaim and just keep frame.
yeah, but don't Armatan like do something
So I
funky
still
with
recommend people get Armatan quads in the beginning.
yeah. Doesn't Armatan run the carbon weird on their arms though? Like,
They
don't-
can. I mean, like the Marmot was the frame that I had, and it was like a single bottom plate. Like
Yeah.
all 4 arms were on the same plate. But they now make like a Badger that has separated arms. So if you break one arm, you can just take that
Yeah.
off. But
Well, it's
the
Arm-
one of the best pilots I've ever flown with, he runs a Rooster, and he's been flying it for 4 years,
yeah. So it's
and he's amazing because he's
Yeah.
had that one quad for 4 years.
yeah, it's Armatan makes the chameleon, isn't it?
Yeah, they do.
So OnlyFans big things is what it's the
Lifetime warranty, man.
yeah. Don't also most of the frames have like a aluminium cast?
Yeah,
Front.
like either an aluminum or a titanium like camera cage on the front.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool
which
fact.
can be advantageous, but I've also
Yeah.
crashed it straight off of the drone before. I still have a picture somewhere that someone made for me of me crashing into
Yeah.
a football field goal post, and the camera just totally broke off and ejected, and
Yeah.
it's a picture of my drone from the camera that has already ejected. It's kind of funny.
Wait, 508, who's the one that sounds quiet? That's cool that you read it in a video listening to this.
Yeah, he said. I think he said you sound quiet a little bit.
Wait,
He
me.
wrote quiet, but I'm sure he meant quiet.
Right.
Yeah, you sound good to me though.
Alright, if it sounds good to you, it must be you that sounds quiet then.
Possibly. I can crank my shit up too.
No, it's I've turned it up on the mixer because I had both of them like 50%. On
Oh,
the
okay.
mixer on mine, so I've just turned
Perfect.
you up on that.
Excellent. If 508's editing something, what are you editing, 508? Are we gonna get to see it tonight? See this video. This video is fucking hilarious. This is the one that Buck Rider did when I had that contest, which I think I'm gonna do another one here pretty soon. Another editing contest,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get some bigger names in it too.
Yeah. That's something I've got to put more time into. I've got to put more time into editing.
Yeah, editing's hard, man. It's a whole different sport.
Yeah, it's because like
it's
see,
it's
well,
it's got its own intricacies.
yeah. So like, see if you ever watch any of the things that I've edited, they're all
Yeah.
generic, you know.
Yeah,
I just guess it's I've just never really put my own spin on it.
it's hard to find out what you can even do in editing.
Yeah.
It's hard to gain all the you gotta basically acquire all those skills. And I really wasn't editing until last year, and I just slowly built up, just ask questions to everybody. That's how I did it. I just asking questions in like the Discord. I'd just be like, "Yo, does anybody know how to do X?"
Yeah.
And then I'd figure that out, and then I'd figure out something else that I wanted to know and go ask somebody.
Yeah.
Just bugging people until I find out how to do shit.
Oh, 508, what video is it? What game I mean? Game you making your videos
Oh,
on now?
Gaming video, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what game you playing, 508? You playing Carball? That's what I play.
Yeah.
Come play Carball with me.
Do you play any other games than Rocket League?
Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty a lot. And what else? I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 with my brother a lot recently.
Yeah. So like a lot of
That's a fun one.
speed. So what, you're very
Yeah,
high
man.
speed games?
Yeah, I like high intensity competitive games.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I like when there's somebody on the other end crying. When I shoot somebody, I want somebody on the other end to be crying. Not in a malicious way, in more of a competitive way. Just like
yeah.
I like when there's somebody, like when my skill outwits somebody. I guess
Yeah.
my speed and my skill and it's just more fun that way, I think.
Yeah, well, I've never really got good at those ones because the best way I've got at is, spray and pray.
Yeah.
It's like a disconnect that I love between, when I play games between me and my friends, because my friends come from, that type of game, the
hmm
fast-paced, Then I come for like the like Rust, Ark, 7 Days to Die type of games, Subnautica and all that.
Oh, okay.
You know the
Yeah, like persistence and longevity type of games.
the long term survival style games.
Yeah. I loved Minecraft for that aspect. Minecraft was really fun for like the survival thing.
I've been playing an embarrassing amount of Minecraft lately.
Yeah, Minecraft is great, man. I still have
Yeah.
like 30 or 40 different worlds that I made.
Yes, I bought both versions of Minecraft for my computer just so I can play with my friends when they are playing on Xbox and all that.
Yeah.
And I've got two worlds overall, but the amount of time that I've put into those worlds.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, maybe I'll show it on what I stream at some point. But the amount of time
Dude,
that I've
Minecraft is fun.
it's one of these games it will never die.
Yeah, it's so simple and yet so complicated at the same time. It's one of those games that will never die. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
And you can do so much with it. People have modified it so heavily that it's turned into like a different game too.
yeah. And that's like one of the things that I absolutely love. Well, have you ever played Ark Survival Evolved?
I haven't. I have not. I've heard of it though.
Yeah, it's one of these games. I love it to death. I've got like 400 hours on it, and it's
Yeah.
like, the base game, amazing. But it's one of these games, certain mechanics in it are just broken, but it makes
Yeah.
it better.
Oh, that's funny. When broken mechanics go right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true with a lot of games actually, to where like something broken gets found out, and then all of a sudden there's a whole new aspect to the game.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool actually.
Yeah, but then you mod it, and it becomes one of the most cursed games possible. Because like it's already a really, really unforgiving game.
Yeah.
But then one of the ones I play on at the base level, base level in stock is like between 2 to 5, depending on your difficult level. Some of the mods that I've got on it make the base level of a dino or something 400 or 500. It's like the lowest level that can spawn in.
Wow.
And it is.
Yeah, I've got about 1,000 hours in Rocket League right now, and it's just consumed a lot of my life.
I'll ring the one
Because I live in a rainforest, I can't fly every single day, so I have to play something. And Rocket League is like the closest thing to actually flying for me.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a lot of hours to that.
Yeah. Do you not do any Sims like DRL or any of them?
I do. The Sims, I mostly like. I'll get my friends to fly the Sims, and then sometimes if they're good enough, I'll let them take my drone out with me.
Yeah.
But that's mostly what I use the Sims for. Is I'll let my friends fly, get them into it.
It's I really enjoyed The Sims. Like I've got most of them, but I've absolutely loved the DRL. It's like I've had DRL on 2 computers.
Yeah.
I've played it twice, and collectively I've got, over the 2 things, I've got like 20 hours.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm just sitting there 10 hours just playing it, then, next day, go to do it again. Controller doesn't connect to the computer more than once.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Once again, I'm just done something wrong, probably, but...
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Because, what it is, FR Sky, it's like, before they shot themselves in the foot at the start of the year, removing DA and moving to the access. It's not access, is it? Whatever
I think it's Access, yeah.
Well, it was access before, wasn't it?
Yeah, why they have a new one now?
It's
They have a new protocol.
ACCST.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I
switching
knew
from
about the Access one because I fly a Tyrannus X9D Plus,
yeah.
and I can't find another one anywhere. I've been trying to find a new one just to have, so I'm ready for when this one breaks, because
Yeah.
it's gonna break eventually. I've been flying this thing since I started flying, like almost 2 years now, and so I wanted to go buy another one just so I have it for when this one
Yeah.
breaks, and I can't find them anywhere. They're all access radios now.
Yeah, it's like it, in the amount of questions I've got by like the two people that have seen my radio is because I've got a QX7 that says in the front of it a ACCST language
Oh yeah,
that for some reason doesn't do D8. So I've got to
huh?
have a XJT in the back of a QX7,
Yeah,
which for anyone that knows anything about drones, it just gets so many questions.
yeah. You should just switch to Crossfire, man. Crossfire or Tracer, one of the two. They're so cheap now. They're so cheap.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
it
one of
sounds,
the.
they're worth it.
Yeah, it's the only reason I got the thing to go to D8 is so I can fly my Mobula.
Yeah,
And then.
yeah. The mobs are sick, man. I think that's the only time I use FR Sky is or X10 Plus
Yeah.
is for my micros.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like three micros. I got one here I haven't even flown yet. But in the winter, I like to turn my house into a whoop track.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
I
I got like 6 or 7 gates in my house, and I Velcro them all to the walls and the ceilings, and then just race inside my house.
yeah, it's one thing that you'll sort of notice a recurring theme because I've got two drones. Neither of them have ever been flown. Just because I keep finding
They'll get up
ways
there eventually.
to break the systems and just not make the things work.
Yeah, no, that'll happen. But you know what? You're learning a shitload along the way, man.
Yeah.
You're learning how to fix it before you even get it up in the sky. So
Yeah.
eventually, when you do get it up in the sky and you break it, then it comes down and you'll be able to fix it instantly,
Yeah.
or you'll know exactly what's wrong. Like 508 wants to get Crossfire too. You should get Crossfire 508, Crossfire or Tracer, one of the two.
Yeah, it's
I bought Crossfire early on and never looked back.
yeah, it's what Crossfire is leading right now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and in certain cases, Tracer is better too. I mean, if you want really low latency and you're not going to go far away from yourself, I mean, Tracer's better just because you get 3 millisecond response time. That's insane.
Yeah, but it's what
So I actually bought a Tracer recently just to try it out and mess around with it, and they just released a new firmware for it. It's supposed to be a lot better,
yeah.
but I haven't even built the Tracer quad yet.
Yeah, it's like the way that logistically, when you think about it, it just doesn't really make sense because saying that you've got 3 millisecond
Milliseconds, yeah.
it's all good, but it's not, I think the human body's got something like a 6 millisecond reaction time.
Yeah, it's like an eighth of a second, or 16th, or an eighth of a second. Yeah, yeah. It all depends too. If you build muscle memory, sometimes your muscle memory is faster than your reaction times.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically respond in 3 milliseconds if your muscle memory is there. That's why it's good for racers too. Like if you're racing and you are on this track and you've flown this track 20 times, and you switch from something to Tracer, and you're gonna be faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get that extra response time, it's gonna feel different in the sticks, and it's gonna respond faster, and your muscle memory will help that out a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I forgot what I was gonna say.
Something about Tracer, probably.
Oh yeah, it's like until you get that muscle memory down, it's like the point, like the 8 millisecond that I'm getting for the Tyrannus or something. That is faster than I will ever need, you know. And
Yeah,
because
in
I'm
some
building
cases.
muscle memory.
Yeah, but once you get used to that, once you get used to that muscle memory and that latency and everything, and then you switch to tracer, you're gonna feel it's gonna feel different. It's gonna feel faster.
Yeah.
And you won't notice until you put enough time into the other one, and then switch, and then all of a sudden it's gonna feel a lot faster.
Yeah.
And then you won't be able to go back. You'll be like, oh my god, it's so responsive and perfect that you won't be able to go back to any other system.
Yeah.
And that's how this industry is. It's just small incremental improvements that make things better.
Yeah. Well, everyone loves the product until there's something faster. It's just like with
Yeah,
racing.
totally.
Everyone loves the driver till there's somebody faster.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. It's one thing I was wanting to bring up is, what do you think about the everyone changing over to the DJI HD systems?
You know what? I was skeptical at first. I don't like DJI as a company and
Yeah.
what they do and what they stand for. But I started on a DJI Mavic. I flew FPV first time on a Mavic. Like I have the
Yeah.
headset and everything. And then, I flew analog for over a year. And then I bought the DJI headset and I built a quad. And I got to tell you, it gives me increased confidence to fly
Yeah.
in HD.
Well, I guess you
I can see those little wires and those little scraggles.
Yeah.
I can see things that I couldn't see in my other goggles. So it just gives me that much more confidence when I'm flying, and it's that much more detail that I didn't know I needed until I tried it.
Yeah, it's
And now I barely fly analog. I'll bring like 2 analog quads with me when I go to fly, but I'll bring like four or five of my my DJI quads.
yeah. And I guess it's just
And
one of
like my
these-
main quads are now all digital. They're all DJI.
Yeah. Well, it's my big thing with it is, when I was buying my drones, DJI was out. Well, I was buying my stuff, my remix, the thing was out for it, But it was just like, because I personally don't like DJI, I just feel like they've like racked the price up just because they can.
Oh yeah,
It's like I
definitely.
can buy. It's like I'd say that my Parrot and Afe drone is as good as a Mavic. What's a Mavic like? 2.5 grand.
Mm-hmm.
This drone's 500.
Yeah, they're about like 1,200 to $2,000. Yeah.
Yeah, this drone's £500. I'd say it's
Yeah.
just as good, if not better.
Yeah, and it all depends on what you're using it for too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. DJI is not the best of companies. They're not in it for your interest. They're in it for your money.
Yeah,
And it's just like Apple. Apple charges, an extra 50% just because they're Apple.
Yes.
And DJI is doing the same thing. But unfortunately, when I flew with DJI, I felt a lot more confident.
Yeah.
So I can sit here and knock the company, but I still fly with their shit,
It's
like it gives me that increased confidence that I needed, that I didn't know I needed. But once I flew with it, I was like, oh wow, now I can't fly with analog as good as I can with digital. And that's the whole reason I'm sticking with it. Is just because if I can get an edge, like a competitive edge, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, and it's like it's the same thing. It's credit's due. I don't personally like it as a company.
Yeah.
You've got to give it credit. It's like it is.
Yeah,
leading,
totally.
it is
They were
the
first ones
leading.
out with it. It's works great. It doesn't have all the features that I wish it had, but
Yeah.
it definitely improves my game.
Yeah, personally, I would fly it if it was just the video. Instead of
Yeah.
your video, your flight controller, your receiver.
Yeah, you kind of have to change everything because
Yeah,
you need that 10-volt output. So you can't use the same ESC. You can't use the same flight controller. You have to have something that's ready with a 10-volt connection,
It's
which
I
is
would-
unfortunate. Hopefully they'll change that later.
Yes, I would possibly move over to it if they made
Yeah,
just a DJI VTX, you know?
yeah. If it was just a VTX that took VBAT power, I mean, that would solve a lot of issues
It's like,
that are
I'm
happening
sure,
right now. Because
yes,
right now you have to have a new, you got to buy a new flight controller, you got to buy a new ESC,
yeah,
and you got to buy like the Vista or the Air unit. And so you're rebuilding your entire setup.
yeah, and especially with the whole thing in America now for the sub 250. It's what the air
Yeah,
unit on its own's 10, 15 grams, isn't it? Something like that.
yeah, it's pretty heavy. Even the Vista is still pretty heavy.
Yeah, I think the Vista's like 7 grams or something, as against to like a
Yeah, so
tramp,
plus
which
the
is
camera, yeah,
3.
totally. It's pretty heavy. Like it takes up a lot of your weight.
Yeah,
And it's got heat sinks on it, which are metal, extra heavy.
yeah,
Like all that thermal paste that in there, it's in there, and it's like super dense and heavy too.
yeah. It's it's just one of these things that but do they really know what they're actually doing? You know,
Yeah, I think they do. They know exactly what they're doing.
it's not. It's what I mean. Instead of a case, I'm thinking like that. I'm thinking more like they do the best for cinematic drones that your weight doesn't matter because you're not looking for that high end power from them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it's
what I'm on, they
true.
actually know what they're talking about for the freestyle drones.
Yeah, yeah. In freestyle, I actually like a heavier quad in freestyle. It
Yeah,
means I can throw my quad through the air with extra momentum.
yeah,
I can get a longer inverted backward shot than anybody who's got a lighter quad can. You know,
yeah.
like that
It's
weight can translate to different stuff that other people can't do with light quads.
yeah.
Like you can throw your quad in the air upside down backwards for longer of a distance than somebody with a lighter quad could.
Mhm.
And you can get that extra 2 seconds out of an upside down backward shot. Or
Yeah.
there's advantages to it. There's definitely advantages to having a lighter quad too, but
Yes.
you just got to kind of weigh them and figure out your flying style and figure it out.
Yeah, I think my drone now all up's like 700 grams,
Yeah,
which I'm
yeah.
sure
Most
some.
of mine are around 800 plus.
Yeah, and it's like it's what 700 grams on 4S.
Yeah,
So I'm sure if I was going to go 5, 6S, that would add another 20, 50 grams, something like that. I
yeah,
don't
maybe
know
depending on the cells and which motors you switch to. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that the motors I'm running now are 6S motors.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I got to
just
go here in like the next 5 minutes.
yeah,
FYI, just letting you know.
yeah. So I'll just wrap up because I've also got to go. So one
Excellent.
one last question for you then.
Yeah, yeah.
Who, if you could pick one person to see on the next one of this, who would it be? Like realistically, and I'll see if I can make it work.
Oh, if I could pick the next person that you interview,
Yeah.
oh man, I'd say Bachgrinder, man. Let's fucking. I can get Bachgrinder for you. Let's do it.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I'd love to do it, but
You want
I
some
feel like
practice before you get to him?
yeah, and I don't want do him at the start before like I want to get a couple of these in the way because I don't want to feel like I'm like leeching off his back.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's get someone more realistic then. Let's see here. I'm looking through the user list of people on Discord. I don't know. Well, who are some other pilots that you watch on YouTube? I'd say get someone that you've actually like watched their videos and stuff. I think that's useful because then you have some background.
Yeah, I guess so. I've just subscribed to so many different people over 3 different accounts.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. I got several accounts as well.
Yeah. So yeah, 508 saying Rax and Drew. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do. Maybe I'll
There you
do
go. Yeah,
Rax.
you get FP Drew, you can get Rax, you can get Old
Yeah.
Gravy Leg,
Yeah.
you can get any of those guys.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, likewise, brother. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. All my love. You guys,
Yeah.
FPV Army for life.
Yeah, right. One last thing. Can you send me a link to Bot's Discord if it isn't a Patreon only one? Like if he's got if it's a public
Yeah.
one. Thanks, man.
I think I can send you one here. Invite. Boom. You should have it now.
Yeah. Thank you kindly.
You're very welcome, sir. You have a fantastical evening,
You too.
and I will catch you later.
Bye.
Adios.
Well, I've been that weird with the skateboard. That's fucking cringe.